Hey, what's up guys? It's Donnie. I'm here to present the top 20 best Morning Musume members. Before we get into the video, I need to say I feel all Morning Musume members are amazing in their own way. Idols put themselves on stage to be judged essentially, and being so young too, so I find their craft very admirable. Singing and dancing is not an easy feat, so I appreciate everything they do to entertain fans. So with that being said, I picked out who I feel are the best Morning Musume members and ranked them. I tried to rank them as objectively as I possibly could without my personal biases interfering. I hope you find this video engaging as I will narrate the entire video. This is a new style I'm piloting, so please tell me what you think. I'm very appreciative that you all value my opinion. I say that to say this. My opinion is not the end-all and be-all of Morning Musume. So please share who you feel are the best Morning Musume members in the comments. Get comfortable, grab some snacks because this is a Donnie video, so of course expect me to ramble like I always do. Alright, let's begin. The top 20 best Morning Musume members. Alrighty, we're going to kick off my ranking with first generation member, Ida Kori. I felt Kori stood out the most of the first generation. She was actually one of the first members I noticed when I learned of Morning Musume. I mean, look at her. She's gorgeous, she has beautiful long hair, she's super tall compared to her generation sisters, like she's the perfect visual. And honestly, I feel she had really good vocals with Morning Musume's early songs. I like that her voice was distinct compared to the others, because honestly, and to this day, I cannot differentiate first generation's voices in the first few songs. Now I do feel Kori kind of fell behind vocally and with dance when Morning Musume added the 5th and 6th generations, but it doesn't negate her impact as an inaugural member. I also feel she was one of the best leaders in Morning Musume. Kori had a lot on her plate assimilating the 5th and 6th generations into the group. Overall, I feel Ida Kori is one of the best members to join the group. Next on my ranking is the mother hen, Nakazawa Yuko. I like to call Yuko the matriarch as she's the oldest person in Morning Musume. She's actually a year younger than my own mother, which is hilarious. But much like Kori, Yuko stood out among the first generation women. She has a very distinct look with a distinct voice to match. Truthfully, I feel Yuko doesn't get enough respect and credit for her time in Morning Musume. I feel she is an amazing woman. I also feel she was a great leader. It seemed as if the tension was thick between everyone during Morning Musume's first 3 years, but from what I've seen, she seemed to mellow things out. I love her composure too. When the group would go on Utaban to be roasted by that unfunny comedian, Yuko would handle it with such class and grace and not let the snarky comments faze her. I like Yuko, she's amazing and definitely one of the best. This pick may surprise you. Number 18 is the dance machine, Ishida Ayumi. What, Donnie? You think Ayumi is one of the best members? Yes, I sure as hell do. When 10th generation debuted, Ayumi was the Sayashi Riho of the 10th generation. People seem to forget that before Masaki became the icon she is, Ayumi was the icon for the 10th generation. She was a lead singer during the colorful era, and she was always in the center for dances. To be honest, her vocals aren't that great to me nowadays. I feel she sounded better as a teenager than an adult, but she's still a reliable member, and she is still utilized appropriately to this day. Since maybe 2018, it's rare to hear Ayumi on a single, but if you watch any Morning Musume concert, past or present, Ayumi is snatching those solo lines. Why? Because she's steadfast and can reasonably hold a note while performing rigorous choreography. So yes, Ayumi is one of the best. I hope she stays in the group for another 2 years and becomes leader. I feel she will make an excellent leader. Up next, we have the self-professed #1 sexy girl, Ishikawa Rika. Rika is the OG visual queen. What she lacked in vocal ability, she made up for in personality, charisma, and visuals. I love when an idol has a character, and I appreciate Rika's charming but narcissistic persona. Rika is a great example of not needing the best vocals to thrive as an idol. She was utilized very well as a Hello Project idol, as evidenced by the numerous shuffle units and groups she was part of. I appreciate her charm, and that's why I feel Ishikawa Rika is one of Morning Musume's best. Coming in red hot at number 16 is the OG ace, Abe Natsumi. 90s Morning Musume was completely centered and marketed around Natsumi. Did she deserve it? It's up for debate, but she took the ball and ran with it. We can say Natsumi is overrated, which may be true, but we can't discredit her contributions to Morning Musume. I'm sure she received a lot of pressure being the center of Morning Musume. Pressure from upper management, from Suku, maybe even the other members, but she did not break from it at all. She actually seemed to relish in it. I loved her visuals, and honestly, I loved her voice too. I'm a sucker for a husky voice. Her performance in Furusato is definitely her defining moment in Morning Musume. I find the Furusato single a work of art. Abe Natsumi is definitely one of Morning Musume's best. Next on the ranking, we have our pandas, Junjun and Linlin. They're a package deal, so they're joining my list together. Junjun and Linlin are the first and so far only Chinese members. I feel this iconic duo was packed with charisma. Their personalities were so charming, especially in media appearances. These two were definitely underutilized during their time in Morning Musume. Linlin arguably has one of the best voices in Morning Musume. Her voice is full of heart, soul, and passion. It's disappointing we didn't get to hear her voice more in singles. Junjun wasn't known for her vocal ability, but her charisma masks her weaknesses. Her appearance and height make her visually stunning compared to her fellow members. I feel we all agree these two deserve so much more from management, but I'm sure they are forever grateful for the experience. So thank you, Junjun and Linlin. You guys are definitely two of the best. Do you ever wonder who the sweetest person in the entire world is? Well, I know. That person resides in Japan. She's number 14 on my list, and her name is Kame Eri. Eri has such a warm, inviting personality, and her sweet voice matches that. I feel Eri was a dark horse for most of her tenure. She wasn't a lead, but she also wasn't in the back, fading into obscurity. It wasn't until the Platinum era, when she finally became a lead singer, that she really blossomed and defined herself as one of Morning Musume's best. Eri retired from the entertainment industry immediately after graduating and has not appeared in any media since. I hope she is well and enjoying her life as a private citizen. I hope to see Eri reunite on stage with Morning Musume again. Kame Eri is a precious treasure. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect idols, but Professor Sunku accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction: gremlin energy. Thus, Tsuji Nozomi and Kago Ai were born. Okay, I'm being silly, but like Junjun and Linlin, Tsuji Nozomi and Kago Ai are a package deal. You can't have one without the other. Although, I will say Kago Ai could probably join this listing on her own. They're number 13, but they are not unlucky at all. These two were the most iconic duo. They were packed with so much personality and easy to market. I feel their voices, especially Ai's, are criminally underrated. Nozomi and Ai are definitely one-of-a-kind Morning Musume members that can't be replicated. I love everyone's idea that Okamura Homare and Yamazaki Mei are the second coming of Nozomi and Ai. Now, I would agree with that, but they're missing that chaotic energy Nozomi and Ai had. Number 12, the final fourth generation member, the boyishly handsome Yoshizawa Hitomi. The fourth generation was filled with charismatic members, and I feel Hitomi had the most of her generation. I believe gimmicks are important. You stand out and feel more seen. Hitomi was seen as the tomboy, but she also knew how to fem it up when necessary. I love how flexible she could be with her appearance. Mr. Moonlight was definitely her greatest moment in the group. Her work in variety shows was excellent as well. Unfortunately, Hitomi fell into serious legal troubles in 2018, but for the most part, they're behind her, and I'd like to see her return to the industry one day. Despite her troubles, she is still one of Morning Musume's best. At number 11, we have Japanese Britney Spears, Goto Maki. Maki is the sole third generation member and has a tenure of 3 years, 1 month, 1 day. She was with the group for a short time, but left a lasting impression. I personally feel her voice was average, but she backs it up with her vocal stability, visuals, and stage presence. Maki was a natural. I really feel being in Morning Musume was holding her back, because if you look at her solo work, her group activities and solo activities are night and day. As a soloist, Maki is on a completely different level, but we're ranking based on her time in Morning Musume, not as a soloist, and I feel placing her at number 11 is appropriate. I feel Maki was utilized very well in Morning Musume. I would have loved to hear her on tracks with Fukuda Asuka and the 6th generation. Overall, I believe Maki is one of Morning Musume's best. We've made it to my top 10. I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. At number 10, we have Morning Musume's 9th leader and upcoming Fall 2023 graduate, Fukumura Mizuki. I don't think there's a Morning Musume member, past, present, and future, that has a deep passion for Morning Musume like Mizuki. She's been with Hello Project since 2008. She clearly loves her work. Truthfully, Mizuki is not one of my favorite members, and I'm going to be transparent and say I was one of the fans kind of pushing for her to graduate. In my head, of course, not publicly. But when I'd feel that way, I would always go back and watch the clip of Sunku surprising Mizuki announcing that she passed the 9th generation audition. Just seeing her break down with tears of joy, it makes me say, you know what, Mizuki, everything you have right now, everything you've accomplished, the accolades you've achieved, the crown that sits on your head right now, you deserve it. You deserve it all. Fukumura Mizuki is without a doubt one of Morning Musume's best, and she will be so missed later this year. At number 9, we have the Siren, Miss Oda Sakura. I feel Sakura is arguably in the top 3, if not number 1 of Morning Musume's best vocalists. Her voice is so clear, crisp, and versatile. She can sing any genre and sound absolutely amazing. When performing pop music, her stage presence and expressions, honestly, they rival Goto Maki. Well, sometimes her expressions can be a little over the top, but I still support my girl. Her dancing is overlooked as well. Not only can Sakura hit a high note, I feel she can bust a move on the dance floor too. She can keep up with the best. I hope Sakura stays in the group a few more years because I would love to see her as leader and fully take lead on the songs. Sakura is undoubtedly one of the best additions to Morning Musume in the last decade. That's why I believe she is one of Morning Musume's best. At number 8, we have the most underrated lead vocalist in Morning Musume history, Nigaki Risa. Risa is a gem of a member. I feel she was overlooked her entire tenure in favor of other members when she was more than capable of taking complete lead. She has a distinct look, distinct voice, and a wonderful personality. She also has interesting hairstyles. I read reports that Risa wished to graduate with Takahashi Ai in 2011, but stayed to mentor and settle the 10th generation to the group. I really respect and appreciate that. I'm honestly unsure of what else to say about Risa. Her tenure really speaks for itself. She's an excellent member, very deserving to be called the best. At number 7, we have the alpha female, Fujimoto Miki. For fans that are unaware, Miki came into the group in a shady way. Miki was a full-time solo artist under Hello Project prior to joining Morning Musume. Management unexpectedly placed her into Morning Musume as a 6th generation member, with 3 other girls, pretty much ending her career as a soloist. So I'm sure anyone in Miki shows would be pissed at this executive decision, and of course Miki was, but guess what? She overcame it all, and 4 years later she became leader of Morning Musume. Talk about a full circle moment. Despite her rocky start with the group, she rose above it all and really solidified herself as a prominent member. I always say Miki has one of, if not the best voice in Morning Musume. She sounds so angelic. Her personality on television was always a treat too. I love how she exited the group as well. Miki resigned to be with the man she loves, and now they're happily married with 3 wonderful children. How beautiful and romantic is that? Fujimoto Miki is definitely one of Morning Musume's best. At number 6, we have the Yankee, Tanaka Reina. What I love most about Reina is how she was unapologetically herself. We live in a plastic world where people put on a facade and hide their true personalities, so I respect Reina being honest, genuine, and not faking it to appease whoever. Reina's personality is definitely what you see is what you get. You may call Reina a bitch, but I say she's real. Maybe she's a little too real, but she's authentic, and I feel that's rare in the idol world. We also need to remind ourselves that she and her fellow co-workers were teenagers. They're working in the entertainment industry that's infamous for being very competitive and cutthroat. But besides that, Reina joined the group oozing talent. Seriously, Reina had no business whatsoever being as good as she was. She is simply remarkable. The Platinum era and beyond is where Reina shined the most. Her vocals are such a pleasure to hear. I can't give Reina enough flowers. Tanaka Reina is definitely one of Morning Musume's best. We've made it to the top 5, guys. At number 5, we have the final 6th generation member, the auto-tune queen, Michishige Sayumi. The 6th generation is without a doubt the best generation of Morning Musume, and I believe Sayumi is the best member of the generation. Sayumi is probably the biggest underdog in Morning Musume history. Sayumi was in the group for 11 and a half years, and I feel she achieved her legendary status towards the end of her tenure when she obtained leadership and birthed the colorful era. Yes, for me, the colorful era starts with Sayumi, but we can talk about that in another video. We all know Sayumi is not the best singer. Hell, even she says it herself. But give Sayumi a little auto-tune, and she beats Fujimoto Miki and Oda Sakura out the water. Okay, I'm just kidding. But I feel Sayumi perfectly demonstrates that vocals are not everything when it comes to being the best idol. You need to have charm, wit, charisma, personality, and most importantly, finding your own niche. EDM and auto-tune is Sayumi's niche, and she capitalized off of it. Her leadership is also one of my favorites. I'd love to ramble more about how amazing her leadership was, but I feel we can save that for another video. Wink, wink. Michishige Sayumi, number 5, one of the best in the game, and she's still killing it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a surprise entrant. Number 4, we have the sexy bear in human form, Yaguchi Mari. Mari may be a swerve for a lot of fans, But I feel it's time we put respect on Mari's name because I've been quiet for too long. I would argue that Mari is the most versatile member Morning Musume has ever had. Yes, I'm saying it, and I'm saying it with my chest. What do I mean by versatile? You could assign Mari any role and she'd give it her all and exceed expectations. Look at her work in Tampopo, Minimoni, Zix, Romans, the list is endless. Mari will not let you down. Let's talk about Mari's voice because no one ever does. When we discuss who the best vocalists are in Morning Musume, we always name Takahashi Ai, Fujimoto Miki, Tanaka Reina, Oda Sakura, Lin, the usual. We never state Yaguchi Mari. Now Mari isn't perfect, but I believe Mari is one of the best vocalists in Morning Musume history, without a doubt. She's so charismatic too. Her personality is so electric. I want to say more, but I'll begin rambling, and I don't want to torture you guys with my incessant speech. I'm giving Yaguchi Mari her flowers today. Mari, you are one of the best. So before I reveal my final 3 picks, I need to say how I believe any of the upcoming women could be number 1. I had such a difficult time objectively ranking them. I rearranged them so many times because quite frankly, any could be number 1. But of course, there can only be one. I believe these 3 are the best of the best and should be looked at and treated as influential icons. I believe aspiring idols, male or female, wishing to join Morning Musume or the entertainment industry should study the following 3, as I confidently say they are the blueprint to success. Period. With that being said, I'd like to reveal my honorable and biased mentions. The honorable mentions are members I feel are excellent members, but I just didn't feel comfortable enough ranking for various reasons. The biased mentions are just a cheap way for me to talk about my favorite members. So let's start with the honorable mentions. First up is Fukuda Asuka. I like to call Asuka the baby ace. Natsumi was the star during Morning Musume's early years, no debate there, but we tend to forget that Asuka was right beside her snatching the spotlight as well. I wish Asuka stayed in the group longer to meet generations 3 through 5, but everything happens for a reason. I feel Asuka is more of an artist than an idol, if you understand. Second is Yasuda Kei. Kei is underrated, underutilized, and was disgustingly underappreciated during her time in Morning Musume. I couldn't add her to my list, but I'm giving her the respect she deserves and flowers here. Thank you, Kei. Alright, so Kusumi Koharu. Okay, before you guys dislike this video and unsubscribe, just hear me out. I know Koharu is a controversial figure in Morning Musume, but in her 4 years in the group, she accomplished a lot. I mean, she had her own solo work while in a group setting. Come on. She's done a lot more than current members who have been in the group 5+ years have done. Yeah, I hear she was a diva during the Platinum era, but I honestly believe she's misunderstood. I wish Koharu wouldn't ostracize herself from Hello Project, but she's entitled to her feelings and I have to respect that. Last is Kudo Haruka. I believe Haruka was on the cusp of becoming a top player in Morning Musume before she graduated. I wish she would have hung on at least another year because I feel management was going to pull the trigger on her. Nonetheless, she was a great personality for the group in the 2010s. Alright, so let's talk about my bias mentions. Of course, I'm going to brag on Suzuki Kanon. Say it with me, guys. She's got a point, she's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now. But seriously, Zuki is the most relatable Morning Musume member ever. How can you not love her? And my last bias mention is my little sister, Morito Chisaki. For any new subscribers watching, in case you didn't know, Morito Chisaki is my little sister. We're half siblings and we share the same dad. My full name is Morito Donnie. sure someone right now is watching is like rolling their eyes like, shut the hell up, Donnie. But seriously, I respect Chisaki so much. The way she joined Morning Musume was so shady to me because I personally feel like she was set up for failure. But thankfully that didn't happen and she persevered. So Chisaki will forever have my respect. So with my honorable and biased mentions out the way, let's talk about the top 3 who I feel are the blueprint for idol success. At number 3, we have the Emerald Enigma, Sato Masaki. I believe Sato Masaki is the most popular Morning Musume member of all time. We watched her evolve from a silly, immature child to a confident, mature woman. Her tenure is perfect. Masaki definitely learned from Tanaka Reina in unapologetically being yourself. Reina had so much individuality and she showcased it all the time, especially when performing. Vocally, I feel Masaki was a pretty awesome singer. At times, she would be a little over the top with her vocals, but it was part of her charm. Her flair, her styling, her expressions, everything that she'd add to her lines made her more appealing and really set her apart from the other members. Masaki was Morning Musume's secret weapon. She's the secret seasoning to make a dish deliciously spicy. Masaki can be imitated, but she can't be duplicated. Masaki is without a doubt one of the best organic, homegrown talents of Hello Project. At number 2, we have the absolute ace, Sayashi Riho. As loved as Riho is by many, she is also considered the most overrated idol in Morning Musume history by others. Is she really overrated? Maybe so, but that does not discredit her contributions to Morning Musume. I believe Riho led the revolution to what Morning Musume is today. The colorful era is Sayashi Riho. The day Riho joined Morning Musume, she told the world that she wanted to be the next ace, and that's exactly what she became. And you know what? Feel free to disagree with me, but she deserved it. Riho's hunger for success, her confidence, her swagger, her cockiness, her performance skills is what catapulted her to the top. No one could match her level, and if I had to choose someone that could maybe size her up, it would be Ashita Ayumi, who I also think is one of the best. There's a saying, when you start at the top, the only way to go is down. And I feel that fits Riho perfectly. Riho came, Riho saw, and Riho conquered. She was in the group for 4 years, 11 months, 29 days. She did everything you could possibly imagine in Morning Musume, but become the leader. But the leadership position isn't needed when you're a centralizing figure. Titles don't matter when you're the absolute ace. And for that, Sayashi Riho, the absolute ace, is one of Morning Musume's best. At last, we've reached number 1, the best Morning Musume member, the GOAT, Takahashi Ai. Ai is like a superhero to me. She appears very quiet and unassuming like a regular citizen, but when she performs on stage, she dons that red cape and dazzles you with her skills. She has a beautiful, passionate voice. She can dance her ass off. Her expressions are top-notch. Her visuals are tantalizing. What can't she do? Takahashi Ai is the ultimate idol. At one point, it felt as if Hello Project was centered around Takahashi Ai. She has all of these amazing qualities, and she remains so modest, humble, and poised. Honestly, I find it difficult to speak high of Takahashi Ai, and I don't really need to say anything because you see her value when she performs on stage. Takahashi Ai is the most illustrious member to join Morning Musume. I believe she is the top blueprint for success, the recipe for the perfect idol. Takahashi Ai is the best Morning Musume member of all time.
Yo yo yo! West Side, Kansai, DJ Run the tune. Boom!